Today we're going to talk about something that deeply touches each of our lives, the habits that heal and bring us closer to true happiness. And when I talk about happiness, I'm not referring to that fleeting joy that depends on external circumstances, but rather to that inner peace, that serenity that remains even when life challenges us. We all need to understand a fundamental truth. Our habits direct our lives. They are like invisible tracks that lead us, day after day, to certain destinations. And here's something comforting. We have very good habits, built over time, the result of past efforts and accumulated learning, but also, and this needs to be said with compassion, without judgment, we carry habits that still keep us at deep levels of imbalance, habits that we may not even consciously perceive, but that are there, operating silently, creating results that we do not desire. And the good news, the news that brings hope, is that there's always room to build new habits, habits that transform, habits that empower who we want to become, because you're not condemned to be forever what you are today. You are constantly evolving, and each day is a new opportunity to choose better. So I invite you now to pause, take a deep breath, and honestly analyze your habits. Which of them bring you closer to illness, discomfort, unhappiness? Because many people, perhaps, without realizing it, cultivate constant negativity. They wake up complaining, they spend the day criticizing, they go to sleep lamenting, and this negative energy gradually poisons the soul. Others cultivate distrust. They trust no one. They see evil where there is none. They live in fear, with suspicion, with that permanent feeling of being threatened. There are those who nurture a desire for revenge, those who hold grudges as if they were treasures, those who do not forgive, do not forget, and live dwelling on what was done against them. There are those who indulge in gossip, judging others, and constantly comparing themselves to others. Why is his life better than mine? Why does she succeed and I don't? This unhealthy comparison only breeds bitterness. And there are also those who neglect their own bodies, who neglect their physical health, eating poorly, not exercising, not resting. They neglect their emotional health, not processing their emotions, repressing feelings. They neglect their mental health, not taking care of their thoughts, not seeking help when necessary. Furthermore, there are those who do not cultivate affection in relationships, those who do not offer genuine dialogue, those who do not demonstrate affection, those who do not practice attentive listening, those who are physically present but emotionally absent. All of this, each of these habits, undermines joy. It erodes relationships. It often compromises physical health itself because body, mind, and spirit are deeply connected. When we neglect our minds, allowing toxic thoughts to dominate, when we neglect our emotions, repressing them or exploding them without balance, when we neglect our bodies, treating them as if they were indestructible, when we do all of this, we expose ourselves to vibrations that lead to imbalance and unhappiness, as well as promoting physical illness. But now, breathe again, because we're going to shift our focus. We're going to look the other way, toward the light. Think of the opposite. Think of the human being who consciously decides to renew themselves, who looks at themselves honestly and says, I can be better. I want to be better. And I will start today. This human being begins to build habits that bring him closer to happiness and self-healing. And how does he do that? He begins his day with gratitude. Upon opening his eyes, even before getting out of bed, he gives thanks. He gives thanks for life, for the new day, for the opportunity to try again. And something even deeper, he gives thanks even for the difficulties that bring learning, because he understands that each challenge is a chance for growth. He cultivates kindness in his interactions with others, at work, at home, on the street. He offers kind words, sincere smiles, genuine encouragement. He becomes the kind of person who brightens up any room he enters. He takes care of his body responsibly. He eats mindfully. He moves, he rests when he needs to. He treats his body as the sacred temple that it truly is. He tends to his soul through prayer, meditation, and inner silence. He seeks out good reading material that elevates his thoughts. He connects with God, not only in moments of despair, but daily, like someone conversing with a dear friend. And he learns that this learning is so important to empty his heart of resentment. When he is hurt, and we are all hurt at some point, he chooses to resonate with the other person. He chooses to ask God for understanding. He chooses to ask for spiritual help, including to be able to forgive. Because forgiving is not easy, but it is essential. He learns to speak his mind wisely without aggression. He learns that it's possible to be firm without being cruel. It's possible to disagree without being disrespectful. It's possible to set boundaries without hurting others. And he learns to listen, to truly listen, not just waiting for his turn to speak, but listening attentively, with presence, with an open heart. These habits, each one of them, heal. They heal the wounded soul. They heal the embittered heart. And often, in ways that medicine does not yet fully understand, they even heal the body itself. Living well requires the conscious construction of a renewed way of living. It's not something that happens by chance. It's a choice, a daily choice, a choice that needs to be renewed every morning. And you know, from your own experience, from honest observation of your own life, which habits are still harming you. You know, deep down, you know. And you also know which habits need to be strengthened, which practices would bring more peace, which choices would bring you closer to the person you want to be. Smile more. Pray sincerely. Have compassion for yourself and for others. Cultivate true optimism, the kind that doesn't deny reality but chooses to see possibilities. Study, expand your mind, take care of your body with affection, practice good deeds in concrete ways, serve your neighbor with love. These are all trainable habits. Nobody is born knowing them. Nobody is born ready. Everything is learned with discipline and consistency. And here's something that might encourage you. Every human being who is great at something today started small. They began by taking the first step. They stumbled, they got up. They tried again, they failed, they persisted. And little by little, step by step, they transformed themselves. Therefore, building healthy habits is a daily commitment to your own happiness. It's a commitment to inner healing. It's a commitment to a fuller, more meaningful life, more aligned with the divine purpose God has for you. You don't need to change everything at once. Start with one habit. Just one. Choose the one that makes the most sense to you right now. And practice it every day with patience, with compassion for yourself when you fail, and with the determination to start again. Before we wrap up, I want to extend a special invitation to you. Sign up, share with someone you love, and let's join together in forming a chain of light. This channel was created with a simple purpose: to bring a message of peace, faith, and hope to those who need to start their day with more light in their hearts. Today, we are a small community, but I deeply believe in the power of unity. Therefore, I want to propose a challenge from soul to soul. When we get 1000 subscribers, channel will now have a messages every day without exception. If this message made you feel good, brought you peace, and made you reflect, then perhaps you could join this mission. 1000 subscribers, 1000 hearts, one single vibe.